I'm Rob from Stuff to Make You Smarter, and today I want to talk to you about the future of communication because it's really, really exciting where our technology is headed. If you think about the history of communication for a minute, you'll realize that mankind has been struggling to expand our ability to communicate ever since we started walking upright. We invented language. We invented writing. And our earliest forms of long-distance communication was actually drum beats and smoke signals. We moved on from drum beats and smoke signals to written letters that were transmitted over great distances by courier, the Pony Express, or even across oceans. And then, of course, we developed the telegraph and the telephone. So here we are now in the 21st century, and we have the internet, and we have faxes and cell phones and beepers and satellites, and we can communicate with anyone, anywhere in the world instantaneously. It sounds like it can't get any better, right? Well, if you think about how technology shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, in 50 years, we're likely to not have telephones at all. The smartphone that is so popular today, and which we're all addicted to, is probably not going to be around. And we'll probably have implants in our heads that allow us to communicate telepathically with other people, either in close proximity or over great distances. This concept is called radio telepathy, and it's actually really simple. What it means is that there's a chip implanted in your brain. There's a chip implanted in your brain that translates the neural impulses of your brain into a radio signal that is then beamed to a receiver, in this case another human being, who has a similar chip in their brain. And they interpret that radio signal into a neural impulse back into that receiver's brain so they understand what message is being transmitted. And then you're communicating back and forth. Now, think about this for a second. This is actually a really cool concept. If I can communicate with another person telepathically, which is a very complex proposition, why can't I communicate with my toaster, or my car, or some other electronic device? Well, in fact, this is actually happening today. There are experiments underway right now where human beings are able to control cars with their brain, but it's hardwired, so it's not wire-free at the moment, but the technology is coming. All we have to do is cross that divide. And when we get there, it's going to be a really exciting place, because what this is going to do is open up communication in a way that mankind has never even been able to think about before. I will be able to communicate with anyone, anywhere, at any time, as long as we're on the same wavelength, so to speak. But where I think this gets really interesting is the ability to communicate beyond human. Because if I can communicate with a human being telepathically, why not another animal? What if we could implant a chip into the brain of a dog and then we could communicate with that dog? Now that is a far more complex proposition, but it's certainly within the realm of possibility. And that's why I think radio telepathy is an exciting concept and something that needs to be explored in the future.
Alright, now he mentioned communicating with dogs now, or animals now. I'm not, I haven't read the account or even looked up the account, but I'm pretty sure it's plausible that it's always stated that King Solomon talked to animals. That's where they get the movie Dr. Dolittle from. You see why they made him as a Jake. Alright, I believe he didn't have cornrows, because they said King Solomon had cornrows. And I believe in that movie he had like plaits in his head. When you read Josephus, I believe he had braids, because he would put like gold dust in his hair and so forth, man. But you watch the movie Dr. Dolittle, that's why they had him. They had to be King Solomon. It had to be plausible. I mean, the Lord gave him all wisdom. I was Yahweh Shine and reincarnation, so it won't be. We're gonna do it in the kingdom. You know, animals can talk. My rib, man, my rib. She be. Sometimes I think she over exaggerate some shit, but I think she the way she be saying stuff and the way certain things happen. Yeah, you know, I can believe it. You know, in this truth, man. One thing is, you know, you don't doubt certain things. You know, especially like that. I believe she be saying a little stuffed up, because she be saying nobody believes me. I can talk to animals and I can communicate with them and so forth. And I'm like, all right, you know, but hey, it's all believable, man. You know, if the Lord gave you that understanding to communicate, that's why you see a lot of people have a love of animals, because they can communicate with them. They can feel, they can feel their spirit and all that. You know, so yeah, you know, that's pretty plausible. But you seen how the guy kept mentioning the chip in the head, man. You hear that, Nate? Or anybody else who don't believe the Rfid chip is a mark of the beast? Alright, he kept talking about a chip implant in his head, man. All right, dealing with what? Radio frequency. All right, radio waves, radio telepathy. All right. Now there was a scene. Now that was dealing with radio rays, right? Which we're gonna get into this video right here. Now, if you remember a while back, there was this Navy Yard shooter who shot some people out there in D.C. And when you read the guy, the Edomite gunner, this guy Pete Williams or whatever, he's gonna talk about his right now. He's gonna speak his confession about what he said before he did what he did. And the title says, FBI says Navy Yard shooter believed he was being controlled by extremely low frequency radio waves. And the Navy got shit like that. Navy, Air Force, they all types of mind control type shit. Government and all that. And the guy probably was extremely low frequency radio waves. Alright? Also known as ELFs. Alright?
Most of what we learned came from the other materials that the FBI found in search warrants. The things that were on the gun itself that he had scratched into the gun over the weekend after he bought it on Saturday, these phrases that he wrote, better off this way, not what you all say, end to the torment, which he wrote on the barrel of the gun, and my ELF or ELF weapon. We heard about that last week, and the FBI says they found other documents that answer the question of what that was. They say he was obviously very mentally disturbed and believed that his thoughts were being controlled by extremely low frequency transmissions, ELF transmissions. And they quote something that he wrote in one of the electronic media they found, and here's what he wrote. He said, ultra low frequency attack is what I've been subject to for the last 3 months, and to be perfectly honest, that is what has driven me to this. So it resolves any doubt of really the why, the one question that we have been wondering in the past 10 days.
All right, so you heard what that was about, man. You know, you heard what that was about. That dude, when he said he was in his hotel room, he heard voices and so forth and all that. But that was Esau probably using a heart machine or whatever type of machine they got to transmit those extremely low frequency radio waves, and that's what led him to do what he did. Man, that guy wasn't bugged out. That was fucking with him. You see in the video, all right? There's no such thing as a free thinker. All right, they think for you. All right, you know, it's too many. I forgot what movie that was, man. You know, a lot of them even might say that you think too much. You know what I'm saying? You do too much, and so forth. That's one thing that they dummy down in America. They don't want you to think. That's why they dumbing you down. You know, they dummy down the schools. They put dummy down shit on the television. They put simple ass niggas in behind the mic or in front of a mic, whatever you want to call it, and say this dumb shit that just don't make sense. On the radio, man, just dummy down shit. You know, bananas in pajamas, old Barney, SpongeBob, Dora the Explorer type shit, man, Teletubby type stuff. You know, it's just straight madness. All right. Now he mentioned the word. He mentioned torment and so forth. It's one that now I love to check the word smart. Cause they made this show in the back in the day called Get Smart and so forth. When they made the problem, they caused a solution, which they mainly get that from Yahweh Shah, because they're the ones. In order to establish righteousness, wickedness has to be there for order to come in. That's what the scripture says in Revelation 19. The Lord judgeth, and righteousness the Lord judgeth and make war. So when you go and look at the word smart in the Old English, what there is a smeart, which means painful, severe, or stinging, causing a sharp pain. It says, this is an adjective, see smart verb, meaning executed with force and vigor. Alright, executed with force and vigor. Of course, after a while, it says it's from the 1300s, meaning quick, active, clever. Alright, cunning for that matter, as they say. Alright, from the notion or the belief of cutting wits or words. Alright, or else keen in the bargaining. Alright, keen meaning sharp. Alright, so let's go get these scriptures. Alright, dealing with showing you that telepathy was all the way the angels, the elect, with the Yahweh Shah, and the elect, they all spoke in telepathy. When you go and watch that movie, The Knowing, right? when you go and watch the movie The Knowing, when the angels came, those two men in the black suits, those two Edomites in the black suit, the pale faces, those two guys were angels. And they were speaking to the boy and the girl using telepathy. And in the movie, you saw that they were angels because you saw their celestial bodies, and you saw that thing rise up, the so-called wheel within a wheel, which is really supposed to be symbolize the chariot, which showed you that them two guys were angels, and they were talking to the boy and the girl using telepathy. All right, so it showed you that Esau knows the scriptures. All right, and so do we here at Great Millstone. All right, we know the scriptures. All right, ain't nothing. What they doing ain't nothing new, man. It's all spiritual. They got it in the physical. All right. It says Genesis 6:5. It says, "And the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually." So the Lord can read men's. The Most High in this case can Yahweh Shema Rashad, since one and the same. But they can read men's thoughts. All right, and the word there is Makashba. Alright? Thought, device, plan, purpose, intent, invention, or even intention. Alright? Cunning, imaginations, work, purpose.